Some footage is so disturbing people still can't explain what they're seeing. A crawler suddenly charges from beneath a bridge while pale humanoid shapes appear rising from a remote river in the dead of night. So, if these clips aren't fake, then what exactly was caught on camera? A collection of trail camera images posted on Reddit by a land steward in the northeastern United States quickly gained attention after showing an animal that nobody on his team could properly identify. The camera had been placed in a remote location that hadn't been checked for a long period, and the figure captured in the photos didn't resemble a deer or a bobcat, and if it was a black bear, it seemed unusually massive. A daytime image from the exact same area ruled out rocks or visual distortions caused by the environment. The photos could still be explained by lighting camera perspective or an animal caught in an unusual position, especially in isolated wilderness rarely monitored by people. But the question still remains, is this simply a familiar species appearing misleading on camera, or something that doesn't completely match what we expect to find in these forests? This unsettling clip captures a dead cow drifting along a river, while a huge shape moves directly beneath it. The size suggests whatever is under the water may have played a role in the animal's death, made even more disturbing by the way it follows the carcass downstream. Although it probably appears larger because of water distortion and camera perspective, the most likely explanation is an enormous crocodile or alligator. Still, without knowing where the footage was recorded, it leaves behind a chilling question: how many creatures like this move through isolated waterways without ever being seen? On March 21st, a strange object was seen hovering low above rooftops in Saladin, and a local resident managed to record it on video. The object had a bizarre vertical shape, resembling a flying saucer standing upright with long trailing strands that made it look almost jellyfish-like. It moved smoothly and silently across the buildings, unlike any known drone, and the footage quickly spread across the internet. Some believe it may have been advanced military technology, while others think it could be connected to the growing number of unexplained UFO sightings reported this year. So, what do you think? An unfamiliar device created by humans, or something that doesn't belong to this world at all? Dashcam footage from Bledinboro shows a man returning home late at night when his headlights suddenly illuminate a large hairy figure near his property. The creature can only be seen for a brief moment before disappearing into the trees, with its movement looking strangely light and unstable. Although the footage could be explained by a misidentified animal distorted by darkness and motion, it has gained attention because of how closely it resembles rare dogman reports. So what do you think an ordinary animal captured from the wrong angle, or something much more unusual? Earlier this week in Buenos Aires, a short and blurry video started spreading online after something disturbing was reportedly seen in a quiet outdoor area late at night. The footage, said to have been filmed in the town of Saladillo, shows a dark figure crawling toward the camera on all fours, while dogs remain calm in the background. The figure seems to have unusually long and thin limbs, although the darkness and poor video quality make the details difficult to verify. Some locals have described it as inhuman, while others believe fear and low lighting may be distorting what appears in the footage. But with witnesses left genuinely unsettled, what do you think this video actually captured? A post on Reddit from 2 months ago drew attention after someone examining old trail camera pictures noticed something unusual in the background. The photos were captured while his brother was alone, with no explanation for what seemed to appear behind him. In the first image, a faint silhouette is visible near the middle right side of the frame, loosely shaped like a small human figure. In the second photo, the figure is completely gone. It may have been caused by lighting shadows or camera distortion, but the sudden disappearance makes the images feel unsettling. So, what do you think was captured in those photos, and why did it only appear for a single moment? In June, a hunter reviewing footage from his trail camera discovered something he never imagined seeing. At around 2 a.m., the recording shows a figure appearing to wear a long dress, walking through the woods, followed shortly after by a dark shape crawling from the brush with long hair and reflective eyes. It may have been a person or an animal, distorted by darkness and movement, but the timing and behavior feel deeply unsettling. So, what do you think was actually captured on that camera? A trail camera positioned near the edge of a remote river recorded footage that quickly disturbed viewers. The video came from an area where locals had previously reported unusual activity around the water, and it seems to show pale figures rising near the surface with long dark hair covering their faces and reflective eyes shining in the light. The The darkness and low image quality make the details difficult to verify, and even the exact river location remains unknown. It could be reflections, lighting effects, or a natural phenomenon misunderstood by the camera. But what do you think this footage actually shows hiding in the water? A trail camera placed deep within the Appalachian Mountains captured something that immediately seemed unsettling as it moved through the darkness surrounding a quiet property. The footage shared by Elizabeth Maynard 98 shows two thin figures first moving on all fours before turning around and walking upright in a strangely humanoid manner. Their glowing eyes, hairless bodies, and awkward, unnatural movements make them difficult to identify. It may have been animals distorted by motion camera angle or poor lighting, but with movements that unusual, what do you think the camera actually recorded that night? While reviewing footage from a camera positioned beside a quiet river in eastern Iceland, an elderly farmer recorded something nobody expected to see beneath the frozen surface. The video captured near Lake Lagerfljót appears to show a long serpent-like shape moving under the water, looking far larger than any known animal. The video quickly spread around the world and was even declared authentic by a local panel, and bringing renewed attention to centuries-old legends surrounding the famous Lagerfljót worm. It may have been shifting ice or a visual distortion, but if not, what exactly was moving through that frozen water? What begins as an ordinary late-night walk quickly turns unsettling when, roughly 10 minutes into the trip, disturbing screams start echoing from beneath a nearby bridge. Drawn by curiosity, the individual pulls out a camera and cautiously moves closer, unaware of how dangerous the situation may actually be. As he nears the darkness beneath the bridge, the screams become louder and seem much closer. The moment he turns toward the noise, he comes face to face with a distorted, unnatural figure that instantly triggers panic and survival instinct, causing him to spin around and run. In another eerie clip, someone walks alone down a deserted road when the sharp snap of a branch reveals that something may be lurking in the woods nearby. Standing near a light source is a figure staring directly toward him before suddenly dropping onto all fours and rushing forward with horrifying speed. In a separate encounter, a man taking out the trash hears strange noises nearby, investigates the source, and soon realizes the voice calling out does not sound human at all. Later, another person walking alone notices a gray, animal-like figure moving unnaturally through the shadows, leaving him frozen in fear before he finally turns and escapes.
Hello?
Whether these incidents were caused by fear, mistaken identity, or something far more sinister remains uncertain, leaving behind one terrifying question. What happens when the thing following you finally catches you? How can something like this even be explained? Late in the night, a bizarre figure appears outside a house, at first looking somewhat human. But after a closer glance, its unusually long arms and warped appearance create the feeling that something is seriously wrong. Whether the figure was a person, an animal, or something far more disturbing remains uncertain, leaving behind the unsettling question of what was truly standing there in the darkness. At first, this video appears completely normal, but shortly after the lights switch on, a strange figure briefly steps into view before quickly vanishing. Some viewers believe it was only a dog, yet the movement and timing make the footage feel suspicious. Was it simply something harmless, or did the camera capture something far more unsettling? Skinwalkers are believed to be witches with the ability to transform into either animals or human beings. In this clip, a strange figure can be seen standing completely still, while holding a pole appearing much taller than any ordinary person. Whether the footage shows a spirit, a camera distortion, or something even more disturbing like a skinwalker remains unanswered. This unsettling video captures two glowing eyes, along with a large arm, appearing near the side of a tent on a security camera recording. The campers did not notice anything at the time, and only discovered the footage later, remaining completely unharmed. Whether the figure belonged to an animal or something far more disturbing is still unknown. How can anyone explain this? Inside an abandoned structure, a bizarre four-legged figure can be seen lying completely still, appearing nothing like a living animal. Then, without any warning, its neck suddenly extends forward, twists in an unnatural way, and falls limp once again. Even after being hit, the figure shows absolutely no reaction. If the creature wasn't alive, then how was it able to move on its own? And what caused such a disturbing motion? A woman calls out to her cat, but when it turns around, its eyes appear to glow in the darkness. As lightning flashes across the scene, its face briefly seems almost human. Whether the moment was caused by lighting camera distortion or something far more unsettling remains unexplained. This footage was reportedly recorded inside an abandoned home in Japan, where an urban explorer begins what appears to be a normal investigation. The video starts quietly revealing deteriorating rooms and heavy shadows stretching across damaged walls. Moments later, the silence is shattered when a pale, horrifying hand suddenly grabs the edge of the frame, reaching toward the camera before slipping back into the darkness. As the explorer continues farther inside, scanning overturned furniture and scattered debris, the camera briefly captures something even more disturbing: a dark figure peering from a doorway with hollow eyes and long black hair barely visible in the shadows. The instant the light reaches it, the figure jerks away and disappears, leaving the house completely silent once again. Whether the footage was an elaborate setup, a lighting illusion, or something genuinely paranormal remains uncertain, raising the unsettling question of what else could still be hiding in places abandoned long ago. Imagine returning home or waking up in the middle of the night and seeing this on top of your roof. The footage captures a figure crawling across the surface in a disturbing, unnatural manner. Some people believe it was only a drunk man, yet the way it moves doesn't appear human at all. Was this merely a mistaken identity, or could something far more unsettling have been lurking overhead? A team of urban explorers enters the abandoned Overbrook Asylum at Essex County Hospital in New Jersey, cautiously making their way through the deteriorating hallways in near total silence. The quiet atmosphere suddenly breaks when a sharp, high-pitched screech erupts from a nearby room. The moment they point the camera toward the noise, a fast-moving creature on all fours suddenly rushes directly at them. Terrified, the group immediately abandons the investigation and races through the dark corridors trying to escape. Whether the figure was an animal, a stage prank, or something far more disturbing remains unknown, raising the unsettling question of what may still be hiding inside places long meant to be forgotten. This unsettling clip captures a man cleaning his pool when a dark figure suddenly appears nearby, followed by a rapid and disturbing shift in his behavior. He throws aside the mop, begins moving in an erratic way, and eventually drops onto all fours as though something unseen has taken control. Was this simply a medical episode, a stage scene, or did the camera record something far more disturbing? Following eerie sounds coming from the forest beside their house overnight, the homeowners stepped outside multiple times but discovered nothing. They figured it was probably wildlife and ignored the situation. Everything changed after they checked their footage and spotted something that resembled no animal they knew, causing them to suspect it may have been the Jersey Devil. The following morning, they uncovered huge, unfamiliar footprints across their backyard. If it had been paranoia, then what was responsible for leaving tracks behind? One night, 4 friends are camping beside their usual lake when they suddenly spot a pair of glowing red eyes staring from the dark water. Fear quickly spreads as the eyes seem to follow every movement they make.
Okay, what squirrel would look like that, Tom?
It's an animal.
Okay,
We're in the woods. Go figure.
Hey, Tom, guys,
What? Oh my God.
what is that?
Oh my.
That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Oh crap! It's coming.
Oh my God.
As they hurry toward their boat, they realize one of their friends is gone and soon notice him shaking on a nearby cliff, certain that something is standing directly behind him. The moment he looks back, he completely loses control and leaps into the lake, desperately swimming back to the others.
Have to jump.
Oh my gosh!
Huh? Come on, Tom.
Oh, swim, man.
Swim, Tom. Swim. Swim.
Oh my God! Did you see it?
No.
Some believe the eyes were only an animal hidden by the darkness, while others insist the movement seemed deliberate. If it wasn't caused by wildlife or lighting, then what had been watching them from the lake? While riding their scooters through a wooded area, a group suddenly begins hearing unusual sounds echoing through the trees, immediately making everyone uneasy. As they slow down and search the surroundings, they notice something partly concealed within the foliage.
Oh! What? Tu vois là-bas? Il y a un truc. Pardon. Tu l'as vu? Oui, j'ai vu. T'as vu ici? Là-bas?
In the distance stands a pale, unmoving figure, whose appearance feels disturbing and difficult to identify. They attempt to move closer for a better view, yet the figure never reacts, remaining unnaturally still, before eventually disappearing from sight.
Je sais pas. Il y a un truc blanc là-bas. Il s'est arrêté. Oh putain!
Some think it may have been a person, or even a natural object distorted by lighting and distance. But if it was neither of those, then what had been silently standing in the forest, watching them ride past? After hearing unusual sounds outside her house late at night, a woman walked into her yard and discovered everything completely destroyed. When the same destruction continued for 3 nights in a row, she decided to look into it herself.
I gotta get this out.
As her dog barked and nearby neighbors came outside to check what was going on, whatever had been tearing up the yard could no longer be seen.
Thought I heard those noises again.
I heard him last night.
After searching around and finding nothing unusual, everyone went back inside, believing the situation had ended. Later, once the footage was replayed in slow motion, something disturbing became visible. But if nothing had been there, then what kept returning night after night? Although most people consider Bigfoot to be a physical creature, a smaller number believe it could be something paranormal. Ohio photographer Angie Segmeyer is frequently connected to this idea after documenting alleged Sasquatch encounters on her property since 2008, while only releasing a limited number of recordings. One of the most unusual clips was captured on January 15th, 2016, when she filmed behind herself during a walk outside and seemed to record something moving with incredible speed. Comparable footage appeared again in October 2022 after California Dream 1382 uploaded a TikTok claiming her boss's daughter accidentally recorded a creature jumping from a tree while using Snapchat. Supporters believe the videos display movement and speed beyond anything known animals could produce, while skeptics argue the footage can be explained by motion blur camera perspective or startled wildlife. But if those explanations fail to completely match what was seen, then what continues appearing for only a fraction of a second? And why does it disappear before anyone can clearly identify it? In 2020, a man began streaming live on social media after claiming a strange creature had appeared in his backyard and insisting he could prove it. As he walked outside to point out where the incident occurred, the figure suddenly crossed the camera frame, once again moving so fast it was nearly impossible to catch at first glance. Once viewers slowed the footage down, a bizarre shape became noticeable. Some people believe it was only smoke camera blur or even a bird, while others feel the movement doesn't fully match those explanations. If it wasn't just an illusion, then what actually moved across his yard that night? National parks can feel disturbing after dark, but this experience in Australia seemed far more unusual.
We out here hearing weird noises in the forest.
While walking along a dark trail, a man heard strange sounds coming from a nearby tree and turned to find two glowing eyes staring directly at him.
What the what the
Some believe it was simply an animal, while others think it looked more like a crawler. If it wasn't wildlife, then what had been watching him from the forest? Some believe one of the clearest Sasquatch encounters came from an ordinary couple. On August 8th, 2013, Bill and Wendy were hiking near Port Renfrew when they noticed a large hairy figure roughly 100 feet away. Bill initially assumed it was a bear, but the shape of its head appeared strange. Some believe it was simply a mistaken animal sighting, while others disagree. If it wasn't a bear, then what exactly did they witness in the forest before it disappeared? After noticing a strange figure near his house, a man decides to confront it, walking toward the shape in the darkness while recording footage.
Keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture it.
As he moves closer, the figure appears pale and humanoid, with eyes that seem to glow, moving unlike any person or animal.
Son of a bitch.
Some believe it was only fear or shadows, while others think it matched descriptions of a crawler. If it wasn't imagination, then what exactly did he approach that night? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.